Hey, what's going on out there? I am Jacques, the creator of Piano in 21 Days, and in this video, I'm going to teach you the song Perfect by Ed Sheeran, but I'm not just going to teach you with any traditional methods. I'm going to use my 5-step song learning process and go through this particular song exactly how I would go about learning it using these 5 steps. So this assumes that you already know kind of the formulas for chords. This assumes that you're somewhat familiar with my 5-step song learning process already and the improvisation tools that I have for you. So there are a few prerequisites to these 5 steps, but a lot of you, if you've been following my channel, or maybe you're in the Piano in 21 Days course already, you'll have that basic understanding already. So let's jump into it. The first step in the 5-step song learning process is find the chords, right? We're not using sheet music, anything like that. In this way of playing with chords and improvisation, the Piano in 21 Days approach, we're going to start by finding the chords for free using the internet. The way we do that is we type in to our search engine of choice. I'm going to use Google here in this example, the name of the song plus the word chords. So I'm going to go over to Google and I'm going to type in perfect chords. Almost always that first result is going to be the best one. It's usually ultimateguitar.com, which in this case it is. And that's because ultimateguitar.com is great. It's got a lot of awesome features, but I will warn you, if you're accessing this site from a mobile device, your smartphone or tablet, they really push you hard to buy their app. And for what we're trying to do, you do not need to buy your app unless you just really, really want to for some reason. So we're here. We have found the chords to this song. The first thing you want to do before moving on to the next step is let's look at these chords and make sure we're familiar with how to play all of these. There's a newer feature on Ultimate Guitar where we can click on the piano chords and you can kind of cheat a little bit and look at the different chords. But I'll start by just familiarizing myself with these different chords of this particular song. Also, we want to consider transposing at this point. I'm looking at this, and this song is actually in the key of G sharp. You can see they actually give you a recommendation for transposing. The capo refers to changing the key on a guitar. So I just happen to have a guitar right here, and if we were learning this song on the guitar and we wanted to play it in the key of G instead of G sharp, we could just take this little device here called a capo and put it on capo 1, and boom, we're transposed. Now we can play the easier chords, the ones in the key of G, but it's gonna sound like the key of G sharp, okay? That's how easy transposing is on a guitar. And so if you have a digital piano or keyboard, you likely have the ability to transpose on your keyboard almost as easy as we were able to do by moving the capo on the guitar. Now, if you want to play along with Ed Sheeran, which I'll show you in one of the steps here in a little bit, and you're in an acoustic piano, then you're going to have to play it in G sharp because his version of the song is in G sharp, also known as A flat. But most of my students I find end up being on some sort of digital piano or keyboard with the ability to transpose. So at this point, you're gonna wanna look up in your manual, if you don't know how to do it already, transpose. And what you can do, I'm in Ultimate Guitar, I'm gonna go down here at the bottom, transpose. I'm gonna turn that G sharp and all the other chords in the song, I'm gonna hit -1, so that puts it in the key of G. So I went -1 on Ultimate Guitar, so I need to go +1 on my keyboard to then match it up. So I have an Alesis recital. This is how I go +1 on mine, but it's like different on everything. So now when I play a G note, I'm playing G, but it should actually sound like G sharp to you. Or if I'm playing a G major chord, it should actually sound like a G sharp major chord. Because I went +1 on my keyboard, everything is now 1 note higher, okay? So I've transposed. Now let me come back up and look at the different chords that are going to be in the song. Just make sure I'm familiar with how I'm going to play all of those chords. So we have a G major, which will sound like a G sharp major. We have an E minor, which is actually going to sound like an F minor. C major, D major, D/F sharp. So that means we just play the F sharp in our left hand. G over B, and a D sus4. Okay, I'm good with all those chords. I'm good with step 1. Step 2 is then to listen to the kind of original artist's version of the song while I'm looking at the chords and see if we can kind of hear when the chords are changing, what the rhythm of the song is. So you can jump over to like Spotify or YouTube and listen to the song and then come back to our chord chart and listen and see if we can hear when the chords are changing. So I'm just gonna go to YouTube now. For me, I find that easiest. And I'm gonna type in Ed Sheeran Perfect and just try to find like the music video or something to this song and hit play on that. All right, here we go. Now I'm gonna jump back over to my chords and watch. So that should be a G right there. Change. C. D. G. E minor. C. D. Change. Change. So if it's you going through these steps, definitely go through the entire song or the entire song multiple times. I'm going to try to not make this a 2-hour-long video here for you and cut each of these steps a little bit short. Maybe I'll finish the last step and do it all the way through. But that's step 2. We want to make sure we're really familiar with the song. We can hear when the chords are changing. We're looking at this chord chart, in this case on Ultimate Guitar. And the way this works is you've got the lyrics and the chord change is usually right above the corresponding lyric. So it makes it kind of easy to tell when they're changing. Sometimes it's harder than others, but that's what the point of step 2 is. Step 3 is to then play along with that same track and play a basic version of our chord along with, in this case, Ed Sheeran. And now is really, for the first time, we're gonna see if we did our transposing correctly. You won't always transpose. Maybe a song is already in the key of C, or it's always already in the key of G, and you don't necessarily want to transpose, but we are transposed here. So when I go to hit that first G, remember, it's gonna sound like G sharp, and hopefully it is. Hopefully I did it right, and hopefully it matches up with what Ed Sheeran's playing on his guitar. So basic version, the only deviation from like basic chords that is acceptable with step 3 is we can do some inversions in the right hand when we're changing chords. All right, so let me start this song over again. I'll start playing a basic version of the chord along with the artist version of the song.
I found a love for me.
So it's sounding like it's lining up so far.
Darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark.
The changes speed up a little here in the chorus.
Barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop step 3 right there. But remember, when you're doing it, step 3, go all the way through the song at least one time. And if you're not super comfortable with it, repeat it over and over again before we move on to the next step. So once again, step 3, basic version of the chords, maybe a little bit of inversions on chord changes along with the artist version of the song. Once you're comfortable with that, we'll move on to step 4 of the song learning process, which is spice it up. Okay, so this is where we're going to bring out our improvisation tool bag and start bringing in some improvisation tools here and there when we feel appropriate to do so. So I'm not going to teach you the improvisation tools in this video. Like I said at the beginning, kind of knowing what those are is a prerequisite to this particular training where we're learning Ed Sheeran's Perfect. So I'll go ahead and start the song back all the way to the beginning and go back to the top of my chord chart here. And step 4 is the same as step 3, but I'm adding in some improvisation.
I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than.
All right, I'll go ahead and pause it there, but you'll want to definitely play through the whole song at least one time along with that. That's step 4. We're adding in the improvisation tools from our improvisation tool bag. Step 5 is called break free. Now we break free from old Ed here and we play by ourselves. Now it's at this point, if you're a singer, you might want to sing along, or if you're playing it with a singer, you can invite them in, or you can just stick with this approach of chords and improvisation. And if you do it right, you can make it sound really nice. Granted, we're not going to be playing the melody notes that Ed Sheeran's actually singing in this song. So it's not going to sound like a perfect copy of this song, but it's a very unique and recognizable chord progression. And hopefully, if I would have started with this, maybe you would have been like, hey, that's perfect by Ed Sheeran. And that's my hope. So this chords and improvisation approach, where we're not actually playing the melody, is like the most bang for the buck, like the quickest path to results we could possibly get. There are additional steps for more advanced students where we can then add on the melody on the piano if we want to, but that takes way longer to learn how to do than just these 5 steps alone. So to get to this point that I'm about to play really doesn't take all that long if you go about all this the right way and you follow the 5 steps and all the frameworks involved within it. So here is what it would sound like, or what it could sound like, with step 5, breaking free, having gone through the first 4 steps. I'm just got the chord chart up, and here's Perfect by Ed Sheeran. 5-step song learning process. Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn to play piano like this, I've got lots of resources for you over at pianoin21days.com. We'll see you over there.